Hello guys, you are seeing Prime News Australia, where we show you the latest and important news of Australia in the fastest and reliable way. So come, let's start by not delaying 25 big updates of the Australia, especially for you. Before proceeding in the video, comment by commenting from which state you are watching, and also like video so that YouTube can reach this video to more people of Australia.
Australia's inflation shows slight decline. Australia's latest economic data shows a marginal decline in inflation, offering relief to households facing high living costs. The Australian Bureau of Statistics reported easing prices in fuel and some food categories, though rent and electricity costs remain high. Economists say the trend could influence the Reserve Bank's next interest rate decision, but caution that global uncertainties may still impact prices. The Reserve Bank of Australia has decided to keep interest rates unchanged, citing balanced inflation risks and moderate economic growth. Home loan borrowers welcomed the pause, while business groups said stability would help planning. The central bank noted global trade tensions and energy prices as ongoing risks, indicating future decisions will depend heavily on incoming economic data. Authorities in Queensland have issued severe weather warnings as heavy rainfall and strong winds are expected over the next 48 hours. Emergency services are on alert in low-lying and coastal areas due to potential flooding. Residents have been advised to secure property and avoid unnecessary travel. Schools in some districts may shift to remote learning if conditions worsen. Bushfire preparedness drive launched. With summer conditions extending longer than usual, Australian fire authorities have launched a nationwide bushfire preparedness campaign. The initiative focuses on clearing vegetation, community awareness, and early warning systems. Officials say climate variability has increased fire risks even outside traditional seasons. Communities in rural areas are being urged to review evacuation plans and emergency kits. The federal government has introduced stricter cybersecurity regulations aimed at protecting critical infrastructure and consumer data. Companies in energy, banking, and telecommunications sectors will face tougher compliance requirements. The move follows a rise in cyber attacks targeting Australian institutions. Officials say the laws are necessary to safeguard national security and public trust in digital services. A major funding package for public transport upgrades has been announced, focusing on rail and bus networks in major cities. The government says the investment will reduce congestion and carbon emissions. New electric buses and upgraded train stations are part of the plan. Commuter groups have welcomed the move, calling for timely execution and transparency. Housing supply plan targets affordability. Australia's government has unveiled a new housing supply strategy to address affordability concerns. The plan includes incentives for developers, faster planning approvals, and increased social housing construction. Housing advocates say supply shortages have pushed prices beyond reach for many families. While the initiative has been welcomed, experts stress that results will take time to materialize. Proposed reforms to university funding aim to balance student affordability with institutional sustainability. The education minister said the changes would support research and innovation while easing student debt pressures. University leaders are cautiously optimistic, but seek clarity on long-term funding commitments. Student unions have called for greater consultation before final implementation. Australia is taking steps to address shortages in the healthcare workforce, particularly in regional areas. New incentives include higher wages, relocation support, and faster recognition of overseas qualifications. Health officials say staffing shortages have strained hospitals and aged care facilities. Medical associations have welcomed the measures, but stress the need for long-term workforce planning. Several large-scale renewable energy projects have moved forward, including solar and wind farms across multiple states. The government says these projects will create jobs and help meet emissions reduction targets. Energy analysts note improved investor confidence in clean energy. Critics, however, raise concerns about grid stability and the pace of infrastructure upgrades. An expanded Indigenous land management program aims to support traditional owners in conservation and fire management. The initiative combines cultural knowledge with modern environmental practices. Officials say the program has delivered strong ecological outcomes and employment opportunities. Indigenous leaders have praised the expansion, calling it a step toward meaningful economic and cultural empowerment. Australia's trade outlook remains stable. Despite global economic uncertainty, Australia's trade outlook remains stable, according to government forecasts. Strong demand for minerals and agricultural products continues to support exports. Trade officials are also exploring new markets to reduce reliance on traditional partners. Analysts caution that geopolitical tensions and shipping disruptions could still affect trade flows. Sales of electric vehicles in Australia continue to grow, supported by government incentives and expanding charging infrastructure. Consumers are increasingly attracted by lower running costs and environmental benefits. Industry groups say affordability is improving as more models enter the market. However, concerns remain about charging access in regional and remote areas. areas. Aged care quality standards reviewed. A review of aged care quality standards is underway, focusing on staffing levels and resident safety. The government says reforms aim to restore public confidence in the sector. Advocacy groups have welcomed the review, but stress the importance of strict enforcement. Providers are seeking clarity on compliance timelines and funding support. Tourism sector shows strong recovery. Australia's tourism industry continues to recover, with domestic and international travel numbers rising steadily. Airlines and hotels report improved occupancy rates compared to previous years. Tourism operators credit improved connectivity and targeted marketing campaigns. Industry leaders say ongoing workforce shortages remain a challenge, particularly in hospitality and regional destinations. The government has announced new programs aimed at reducing youth unemployment through skills training and apprenticeships. The initiative partners with private employers to create job pathways. Youth advocates say targeted support is essential amid changing job markets. Officials believe the program will help young Australians transition smoothly from education to employment. Data privacy concerns spark debate. Growing concerns over data privacy have sparked debate in Australia, following reports of increased data collection by private firms. Lawmakers are considering tighter controls and clearer consent rules. Consumer groups argue stronger protections are overdue. Businesses warn that overly strict regulations could impact innovation and digital services competitiveness. Australian farmers are facing ongoing climate-related challenges, including unpredictable rainfall and rising input costs. Agricultural groups are calling for more support in climate adaptation and water management. The government has pledged additional funding for research and drought resilience. Experts stress the importance of long-term planning to secure food production. A comprehensive review of Australia's defence spending is underway to assess readiness and strategic priorities. Officials say the review will focus on regional security and modernisation of capabilities. Defence analysts expect recommendations on technology and workforce investments. The government has emphasised maintaining strong alliances while ensuring fiscal responsibility. Changes to childcare subsidies aim to make early education more affordable for working families. The government says the reforms will reduce out-of-pocket costs and encourage workforce participation. Parents' groups have welcomed the announcement. Providers, however, are seeking assurances that funding levels will cover rising operational expenses. New rail safety measures are being implemented following recommendations from recent investigations. The upgrades include improved signaling systems and enhanced staff training. Transport authorities say the changes will reduce risks and improve reliability. Commuters have welcomed the focus on safety, while unions stress the need for ongoing investment. A nationwide water conservation campaign has been launched amid concerns over declining reservoir levels. Authorities are encouraging households and businesses to reduce usage. The campaign includes public awareness initiatives and incentives for water-efficient appliances. Environmental groups support the effort, but urge stronger policies to address long-term water security. Small business owners are calling for targeted tax relief to manage rising costs and economic uncertainty. Industry associations say energy prices and wages are pressuring margins. The government has indicated it is reviewing support options. Economists note that small businesses play a critical role in employment and economic resilience. Plans to expand mental health services include increased funding for community-based care and crisis support. The government says demand for services has grown significantly. Mental health advocates welcome the investment, but stress workforce shortages remain a challenge. Officials say improving access and reducing waiting times are key priorities. A new funding package will support upgrades to community sports facilities across Australia. The initiative aims to encourage participation and improve access, especially in regional areas. Sporting organizations say better facilities will support youth development and health outcomes. Local councils have welcomed the funding, calling it a boost for grassroots sports. Would you like